All right. So yes, a little bit more on perspective as well, right? Because not all subjects, for example, not all subjects would be simply standing for you, right? They will have the dynamism to it. There changes in their structure. Now here I'm talking about both human and non-human things, right? So a little bit more on the perspective. Yes, it also relates a little bit to direction as well. So here, for example, yes, I have a square object here, square object right here. Now this square, it could be anything, right? Now now right now it is a square, but think of this as a cube, right? A cube. So for example, this perspective here is that of a straight line, which means you are able to see, you're able to focus. So for example, your eyes would be over here, which means you are directly seeing the object, right? However, if I were able to see the base, let me use this. If I were able to see a little bit of the base, now see, the whole perspective changed. Now, this is no longer my level of the eye. Yes, my eye level. Right. The fact that I'm able to see the lower part over here, it changes the whole perspective. However, for example, if I were able to see it from here, it's straight. Now, this also changes the whole perspective of it. Yes. Now, if I were able to see the top side, the upper part of this square, or it could be rectangle or whatever. See, look at this. Now it changes the whole perspective. Yes. So something about perspective, it's also really important, right? Because all of the all of your references, all of your model, they are not always in a static position, especially when you are trying to do some live sketches and all that. There was they are always changing, always dynamic. Yes. So something about perspective as well. So about perspectives, you can do some few deeper research as well. There are 5-point perspectives. You can have a look at it. You can browse, check on YouTube's so that you can enhance more of your knowledge. It's also a very important thing. Yes. Now, lastly, something I want to focus here again is about light and shadow. I just want to give you a brief about light and shadow. Of course, we are mostly focusing on sketching. However, giving them the tonal structure to it, which means when you give tones, it creates values. Now, when it creates values, it has that light and shadow. When light and shadow is there, you get a three-dimensional object. Yeah. So let's move back over here, for example, our structure over here, or let's say this apple. Now let's say light, the direction of the light is from here. Yes. Now, simple science, when the direction of the light is from a certain position, the opposite side of the subject or the object would have the shadow, right? There. As simple as that. Over here we have light, or we call it highlight. This portion, this part will be the brightest part of the subject or the object. The second would be the mid-tone. Now, mid-tone is just simply the middle part between the most highlighted part and then the cast shadow. There are two types of shadow. One is core shadow and one is cast shadow. So it's in between that. It's slowly transitioning from a highlighted part to the darker area. So that smooth transitioning, that is called the mid-tone. Now, without the mid-tone, all of our artworks will look flat. So it's as important as the light and shadow. And over here, this one we have the core shadow. It is in between the cast shadow, right? And lastly, the cast shadow, as per the name suggests, the part, it's simply the shadow. You all know about it, right? So here it is. And uh in some certain occasion, depending on the object as well. Some object have this highly reflective texture to it. Porcelain, some certain yes, objects. So they are highly reflective. So sometimes what happens is over here, I'm not yes, I'm not able to erase it right now, but over here, there is a reflected light as well. Reflected light. So in some certain occasions, in some certain objects, you'll be able to see some faint light over on the core shadow, which are in between the shadows, right? Those are reflective light. Now, they are highlights, but they are not as bright as that of the main highlight. So you'll have to know the difference between it. So all these five things, the highlight, the mid-tone, the core shadow, right? And then the cast shadow, differentiate between the core shadow and the cast shadow, all right? And then the reflected light in certain occasions, all right? So yes, here are some few fundamentals about art. We only have some few minutes. So in the next session, after some few minutes, we will be starting. Yes, and as well, although I gave you some few different examples, like using that of an apple, some certain shapes, it heavily relates to our human anatomy figure as well, all right? And also with other objects and subjects. So yes, in the next session, we will focus mainly on our anatomy. And yeah, I hope you can research more on this as well. You can go through a little bit about it. Yeah. Anything you want to say, you want to ask? Any questions? All right, since our time is, excuse me, up as well, what we'll do is in the first 5 minutes of our next session, I'll take some inquiries if you have any, and then we can start with our distant sketching session. All right? Yeah, is that cool? Okay. Five seconds. Yes.
Sir, can you please tell us about perspective again?
Perspective. Okay, I can.
Yes.
However, it's a little bit longer distinct subject. So yeah,
The, the 1 to 5
try to.
perspective, can you please small clarification?
Yeah.
All perspective.
All right, all right. On perspective, all right. Yeah, all right. So I'll start with perspective in the next session. Okay. Of course. 40 minutes. अच्छा 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 इसको इसमें क्या या इसमें all right, since we have 1 minute, yeah, someone was Haman Kumar, you were asking something about perspective. Yeah. Yeah, so which part was it? Yeah.
Can you tell us perspective base? I wasn't get that time.
Okay, so more on perspective, you mean?
Yes, please.
All right. All right. Less than 1 minute. Yes. So like I said, this one I wasn't checking I got a little bit confused with the timing. So yeah, however, we have less than a few seconds. So yes, I will start with perspective in the next session. All right. A little bit more on that. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, may I ask a question?
Yes, sure. Do you want to ask something?
Sir, first, first we should focus on rapid sketching.
Yes, Priyanka Nakeshwari, you were saying something, but since the session was over on that period, it went on its own. Yeah. So sorry about that. Yeah, you were asking.
I was asking that we should first focus on rapid sketching or human anatomy, because human anatomy study takes a lot of time.
Yes. So see, what I explained before was I said about simplification, right? Even with that human anatomy simplification, which means starting with simple things, right? So the same principle, use it, right? So if you're doing rapid sketching, very well and good. And once you are comfortable with that, right? Because art is not always about, like I said, creating detailed work, complicated works, these massive good works. It's also learning how to create very simple things and which resembles that object or that subject you have in hand. So yes, rapid sketching, I think yes, much better. And in human anatomy, for example, study of the bones, muscles, it will come later. Yeah. So if you do rapid sketches, don't only just do about human anatomy or human figures, right? Whatever objects you see. For example, right now, what do you see? Like some pens, pencils, or you could see like your table, outside trees, cars.
Whatever I see, I should draw.
Yes, yes. The differences in the shapes and in the objects, it really helps a lot. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
And
Sir, I have a question.
Mhm.
Um, before these classes started in February, we had a session with Sir that was about block drawing and armature. So the video of that has not been uploaded on YouTube. Would it be there for
Oh,
us to like refer again?
okay. All right, all right. So, yes, about that as well. We will check it and see, and then we will upload it as well. All right. So no worries about that. All these sessions which are being recorded, it will be sent. It will be uploaded on the. Oh,
Okay. Yeah, it was sometime in October.
yeah.
Then we kind of because there was some preparation and Diwali breaks, then like kind of
I
it wasn't uploaded maybe.
okay, okay, okay. Maybe, yeah. But yeah, we will check it and we'll make sure to upload it. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more? All right. In that case, we will jump straight into our session. So yes, forgot your name. Aman Kumar, yes, was saying something about more on perspective. All right. So before I showed you with a square how drawing it. Yes.
Sir, please tell about 1 point to 5 point perspective. I don't know anything about it.
All right. See, I will not be able to do tier one, tier 5 point perspective. However, right now it's important. So this is why I said now starting from the first session, key I'll be speaking on some certain art forms, certain terms, so that you can research more about it, right? Because we only have like few minutes, and if I just focus on that, you will be missing a lot more, which you can do it on your own, right? So yes, I'll give you some glimpse to it, but I cannot be going too deep into it. So yes, uh, let's say with 1 point perspective. So right now, I think 1 point is would be much helpful for you, I believe. Yes. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think you can do that later as you enhance your knowledge and all that. So I think right now 1 point is more important. So let's see. Before I showed you with a simple square object. Now, drawing a simple square object is not easy. I mean, it is easy. However, if you are drawing a certain object, now it becomes a little harder. But I assure you, it's the same thing. Now, for example, all about perspective is just how you see the eye level. All right. So, like I told you, for example, let's say I have here a bottle of water with me. Yes. Now, if I am able to see this word over here, BISLERI, for example, this one, I can see it, right? And I can see the covering of this. That means this is straight due out of my eye level. Now, this is my eye level. Is that clear? Now, this will be my eye level. So how will it look on paper? How will it look? So over here, now this is how my bottle will look like. All right. Now, for example, this bottle of water was kept at your table, right? Now imagine it in your own scenario. It was kept at your table, and then you stood up. You stood up and you looked at your bottle of water. Now, what are you able to see? You will be able to see this portion. Yes? You will be able to see this portion when you stand up and then look down. That means you are able to see the upper side of it. Now, when that happens, how will it look on our paper? Now, look here. it would be close to this. Yeah. Yes. This perspective, it will be called below your eye level. Now this is below you. You are not able to see this base. Yes, of course, right now it is a transparent object. That's why we are able to see it from here. However, if this was opaque, you'll not be able to see the base. You will just be able to focus on this upper side. Yes. Now this is called below the eye level perspective. This is still 1 point perspective. This whole thing is just 1 point perspective. This is just below your eye level. The direction of your eye, right? It's just below you. But when we focus it over here, this is just straight on your eye level. So for example, this bottle of water, you kept it just right in front of you, just where you are able to see it directly. You're not able to see the top. You're not able to see the bottom, just straight forward. Now that is your eye level, the level of your eye. It's not too big. I mean, it's not too up. It's not too down below. Now, what will happen if you pick up your water bottle and you try to look it up from above? The object in hand is much higher than your eye level. Now that becomes above your eye level. Yes? So for example, when you look up and you're able to see the, for example, you're able to see birds or airplanes or that below that of the trees and all that. Yes, those would be above your eye level. You're looking up in order to observe. So those will be above your eye level. Now on paper, how would it look? Right? So here, we will be able to see the base of it. Yes, the base of the water bottle. Now, excuse me. Mind you, you'll not be able to see the top part of it. All right. That's just simple logics. Look at it. It's as simple as that. Yes. So in relation with our first session, even though it has a dynamic shape to it, all those curves, all those details and everything, just break them down into simple objects, simple shapes, simple geometric shapes, right? So even that helps with our perspective. So art is something like that. All those little knowledges you gather together, and the more you know about it, the more it will help you in creating a certain artwork. Yes. One point perspective. Yeah. And it also applies, either it could be on the left or it could be on the right. It's the same thing. And one important thing is all the lines which you stretch, it should be from this point. That's the reason why it's called this point perspective, like 1 point, 2 point. Yes, it should be stretching out from this one. And the rest of it, it's vertical and horizontal, straight line. Yes, so in simple, it would look like this, a straight line, your point, of where all your lines would be. Yes. And then the verticals and the horizontal lines. You can use this simple method, all right, to create any sort of perspective. However, that will be in one point only. Yes. It's a very simple method for it, for one point perspective. So for example, if it's on the right, all this will be straight. It will not be curved. It will not be slanting. If that happens, the whole perspective will be distorted. It could be on the left, it could be over here, here, exactly at the eye level, no matter, right? Once you understand this concept, this simple method, it will be so much easier for you. So look here, although right now it's a little bit at a different angle, however, it is still below the eye level. So that means you'll still be able to see the top part of the cap. Yes. And the same goes on the right or on the top right, left top right, it is still the same. Yeah. So yes, you can do more research on the second point, third point. However, what I want you to do is I want you to go a little bit slow so that you'll be able to digest it more. Yes. So you can focus more on this one point perspective and do point perspective like I suggested. It will be from 2 points. Yes. All the lines will come from here and the rest would be same, vertical and the horizontals. Yeah. But I'll not dive into this one, nor the 3 point, 4 point, or 5 point. However, I'm giving you the terminology so you can have a research more about it. Yes. So yes, in that case, yes, since we have 17 minutes more, we will do some few of those figure drawings. Yes. So last time I sent you some few references. We will look at it. All right. This will be a reference. So last time we did more, which was revealing a little bit more of skin. Yes. Now that is important because it's like that of a skeletal structure. The muscle and the mass of the muscles. Also, this one, the shapes, their dynamic postures most also is also important. It's important because of the structure of the bone mass. And just like that, with clothes, yes, with fabrics on the body, that shape, that structure of the shape is all it's important because of the structure of the model. Yes. So we will be doing more on these models which have clothings on it. Yes. So let's just start with it.
Send these references.
Yeah.
Can you send these references to the group?
These references, yeah, sure. I'll send it. I think I sent it last session as well, but yes, for this new, yes, for those new joiners, I will send it. I'll resend it again. All right. All right. So same as all those principles will be same. Yeah. Is my voice echoing or is someone trying to speak as well? Yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Now, I'm using the blue pencil for my base structure. Now, those who attended last session will know direction of the model, right? And then, mind you, model with clothings and without clothings are very much different. Yeah. So I want you to look at it carefully here. What difference do they make? And then, like I said, last class, the midsection. Now, with the clothing, it will be hard to find the aces. Last class, I said this word, aces, the iliac crest, yes, that bone. So without clothes, it's easy to find out where the aces is. But with clothes, it's very difficult, yes. So over here, my midsection would be, I'll use this part. Yes. This will be my midsection. Now that is important because I want to be able to measure it, the upper torso and the lower torso, differentiate it so that I'll be able to have a proper proportion. So it's almost the upper torso and this skirt over here is almost the same. So for example, if this is my measurement for the upper torso, over here, it would be the skirt. Measuring it once again now for the lower leg. Yes. Now, starting from the leg, it's a little bit less longer than that of the upper torso. So I think if you are good with ratio as well, in differentiating, it will really help you. So maybe somewhere around here for the legs. Now see, when you're drawing the, are you able to see, is it clear? Or is it a little blurry? I think it's a little bit blurry on my screen. Make sure that
Sir,
this
it is
leg,
blurred.
it's blur, right? Yeah. थोड़ा सा blur आ रहा है. Focus. अभी भी blur. Focus. Is it okay now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here. So here's my rough layout. See, when you have the structure, right, the whole structure, it's so much easier. Now, if you find this a little bit more difficult, simplify it. See, yes. So learning how to do this is only important for your final result. Yes. You may know how to simplify things, but it might still be difficult for you to create the whole structure, right? Now, again, time, I'm not trying to focus on the details. Yes, I know it's very tempting to go straight into the details and all that, but you must restrict yourself a little bit so that you're only focusing on the overall structure. See. So, you know, even here, the perspective, the 1 point perspective we did, it also comes a little bit into play as well. The fact that I'm able to see this lower part of it, and then this belt or something over here on the skirt, it's curving upwards. That means it's a little bit, just a little bit, it should be above the eye level. Yes. So like I said, all the small knowledge, try to connect them, make a link. The old knowledge with the new knowledge, try to make a relation to it so that it doesn't feel overwhelming. Yeah. Let me focus a little bit on the legs here. Now, something about this legs over here, and then the feet over here, is that the whole thigh and the knee are being covered up from here under the skirt, yes? So it would look something like this. Yes. Understanding this, right? It's really important so that right? So see, I'm able to see the thigh and then the structure roughly, right? It could be a little wrong, but judging from the turning points and that of the legs here, I'm able to judge that the thighs, the left thigh and the right thigh might be looking a little bit like this. Now, this was only possible because I started with learning with the this one, pure human anatomy, without any clothing on it, right? With less clothing, yes. So having that knowledge, it was easier for me to know, okay, this structure is from here and then it's joining down from here. Now I have that understanding, yes. So that is why it is also as important. It is also really important learning about human anatomy as well. But yes, not really necessary to dive too deep into it right now. So now we can finish our work. So simplification is also included here. Now a little bit on the values, right? Which means the light and shadow. We discussed on it with that example of an apple. So let's try to include that as well here. Yes. Our reference here also, it depends heavily on the reference as well, right? Sometimes what happens is just like this reference over here, it doesn't have that much of highlight and much of that shadow. That means the light over here, it's from many directions. However, we'll just give some faint values to it. Yes. So let's just say the light direction is from here. Yeah. And then adding some few little details. Yes. So over here, I'm just using some hatchings. Okay. All these things are called hatching techniques, which is used to fill up a large portion in just with just simple strokes. You can use this technique as well for your sketches. Hatching. Yes. You can do it from this angle. You can make a cross line to it. Be straight. Yes. It's an easier way and much faster way to fill up your drawing, your sketches, right? Because you don't need details in the first place. So even in giving the details, it's not that really necessary. However, here you have some highlights. Yes, some highlights, some mid-tones, and if you want, some shadows. All right. So simplify everything, deconstruct everything. Last session, we started with the human anatomy, deconstructing it, right? So it has a little bit of perspective. If we were able to if we were to make a link, have a relation, have a connection, it has a little bit of a perspective. It has a little bit of the values, the simplification part, and the ones which I talked about. Yes. So it's just as simple as this way, right? So you can do more of these sketches, all right? Like the one I gave you last time for homeworks. It goes the same as like with this one as well. This one was yes, for this one. Let's see. Even this one is not the final product, the final result of your work. However, you can roughly lay out something like this in just few minutes, maximum of 7-8 minutes, 6-7 minutes, if you're trying to give some little bit of few more details as well. All right. So I'll try to understand the body structure, look at your reference. Is it above your eye level, or is it below your eye level, or is it just straight at your eye level? Look at it carefully, nicely, and try to look at them at simple shapes. Is it looking like a square? Is it looking like a triangle? Some may say it's looking like a triangle. Some may say it's looking like a rhombus or like that of a square. It doesn't matter. What matters is your perspective, how you see it. And once you lay it out, are you able to construct the similarity in between your reference, your subject, and with your artwork? That will matter, right? So that is it. We're at the last few minutes of our session. So if you have any inquiries, any questions, you can let me know. They can show their works. Yeah. Yeah. So you can show me your few works as well. Yeah. I can give some few feedbacks. I won't judge heavily though. Yes. Aman Kumar. Yes. It's very nice that you started working on it. Yes. Good. Yes. Good. Yes, it's good, but too much details. All right, good. or Goyon? All right, good. Yes. 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 Try doing it with less lines. Aman? Yes. Sarah's art, yes. I can see, yes. Yes. That dynamic pose, it's really nice. All right, guys. So since we're at the last few seconds of it, I hope you enjoyed the session, and I hope that you will be practicing more on this. Yes. So, all right.
I want to
See you next class.